We'll now take a look at AutoCAD Plant 3D's user interface. And of course, it's very important to be able to use the interface to be able to get around the program. So you'll also notice that since it's based on regular vanilla AutoCAD, you should see many similarities with just some accommodations for piping and then your process and instrumentation diagrams. So let's take a look at the application menu. You can always go to the application menu as one of your first lines of whenever you need to be able to get a new file, be able to open a file, save something as a particular name. If you have a file that you need to save as a particular file format, uh, being able to import files in, being able to export files out. If you have files that you need to publish out, of course, if you need to print, and then you can also go here for your multiple close functions or just basically closing out. If you notice over here on the right hand corner, I have some files here, and these are files that I've opened in the past, and this is going to update as you open up files. And if there's one that it's going to be kind of on a rolling process that as you open up more, they're going to get pushed down. But if you don't want one to get pushed down, you'll see a thumbtack right here. Just go ahead and push that thumbtack in, and that'll keep it where it's at and it won't roll down. All right, you also have a way that you can search for commands here. So if you look up here and you type in line, you'll see that it'll bring you up to line, and then you go ahead and you can click on that and it'll bring you to that command and you can actually execute it. So it's kind of there to help you find commands that you're not sure about or you maybe know part of it. You need to know the full uh, explanation of it. Also above here you have a quick access toolbar. Quick access toolbar is pretty helpful. You can put some of the tools here that you use on a regular basis. In mine I have the new button, I have open, of course save as, print, undo, and I also have my workspace setting here. Now to be able to adjust what you have in your quick access toolbar, you'll see a drop down right here. And so you can go ahead and you can check off or uncheck any of the ones. Check the ones you do want in the quick access toolbar and uncheck the ones that you do not. You can also move the location of it. And if you are someone who's been using AutoCAD for a long time and you like to be able to see part of the old school menu bar with the AutoCAD functions, you can show that menu bar right there. That's also pretty helpful. I'll go ahead and take that one off, and of course you can show the quick access toolbar below the ribbon if that's where you prefer to have it. So you do have some options there with your quick access toolbar. Of course, you also have a place that you can drop down and you can add more commands to it. So use that. You can go into any commands. You can even filter them out by category if you only want to see maybe the draw commands, maybe a specific draw command you want to add in there, so on and so forth. Very helpful, just a way that you can put some commands at your fingertips. Okay, so you have an access to help files over here. Now, I'll just mention right now that this help is online. So if you're not online and you think you're going to be in situations on a regular basis, maybe you're going to be working remotely, there is a way to download the help files to your computer. But as long as you're online, all you have to do is be able to type into the search files and it's going to bring up things associated with that keyword. And it's going to bring you to an official Autodesk Plant 3D page, and you'll see that you have articles from the knowledge sources, uh, different features, content type, and then all of these hyperlinks that'll take you to sections. So it's really a helpful thing to be able to have, and it's just very easy. You go ahead and type it in right here. Now, you'll see right here, that's where I'm signed into Autodesk A60. That's a free online service. If you're on subscription, you can register. That gives you some cloud space and other features, ability to work on projects. It's worth checking out. And right here is the Autodesk Exchange. Now, the Autodesk Exchange is, sooner or later you're going to need to bring in maybe more piping catalogs or fitting catalogs in. And the Autodesk Exchange is where you would actually search these things out. So you can go ahead right here. You see it says that it's set for AutoCAD Plant 3D. Of course, you can set it for any Autodesk product, but right now we're in Plant 3D. So if you're looking for catalogs and specs and you go ahead and click on there, it's going to tell you about some catalogs and specs that are available to you right now. And of course, you also want to go into there because you want to be able to do updates whenever they become available so that you'll have the latest, greatest catalogs in. And of course, don't worry about that. We're going to be talking more about catalogs and building specs as we go on. Okay, so we also have a ribbon that goes across, much like any other Autodesk product. And the ribbon is where we're going to find our tools that we need to build. You'll notice that everything is built across in tabs, and each tab contains a panel. And each panel contains the various tools that you're going to need. So if there's some that you're looking for a tool that's not up there, maybe it's not showing. If you right click on your ribbon, you'll see that you can choose which tabs that you want to show just by checking or unchecking. You can also pick the panels that you want to show as well. If you undock this, you can undock the ribbon completely, maybe move it to a second screen if that's what you need to do to get more area to work on. So all of those can also help you customize your ribbon there. And of course, your drawing areas where you're going to do your design. And many of the old school CAD users really prefer to use the command line. You can type any command here. If you notice, if you hover over one of these, it'll tell you exactly what the command is if you prefer to use the command line. Of course, the command line is also dockable and you can drag it around or you can put it back the way it was. Command line's a very useful tool. So because this is going to be your method of exchanging information with Plant 3D. So even though you're going to use the ribbon, you will be using the command line from time to time as well. So, and also please look at the command line because you will receive prompts of what to do next in many situations as well. You have a status bar down here, and your status bar, you have various tools right here. This is where you switch from model to paper space, uh, turning your grid on and off. You have various tools down here, and once again, you can customize which ones you want. If you click on this customization button, you'll see the ones that I have checked off are the ones that are showing here. And you can choose whichever ones you want to show, and then you can just go back here to turn that on and turn it off again. So you also have the Viewcube in the user interface. Now, I find the Viewcube to be very helpful. Of course, most people are coming into this as an AutoCAD 2D user and they only see the top view. But in 3D, you're going to see that this is much more useful. Of course, you can click on any face and then you can, by clicking on the face, you can change the position of it. Go to the home position, will bring you back there. If you notice the look of this kind of changed a little bit, it does that sometimes. If you right click on there, that's your choice between parallel and your perspective view. You can also click that on by direction. Right there, I took a view from the west. You have a rotation there. Of course, I don't know if you're going to want to do that. Uh, you also have this drop down here to where you can set what we just mentioned. If you want a perspective view, that's going to be more how the human eye sees things. Uh, your ortho view is going to be more of a drafting view. And then you do have one that's a combination of both, which is called perspective with ortho faces. So pick the one. If you notice, you can, when you go into the face, you have the ortho view. When you go into the home, then it's more of a perspective view. So I guess that was designed to be the best of both worlds. I kind of prefer the parallel view, keeps everything kind of ortho. You can also click these edges and you can also use the pivot, and that's just grabbing anywhere on that cube and you can kind of use it as an orbit. So it's pretty useful tool to be able to use. And you do have some Viewcube settings on here to where you can customize the Viewcube. You can choose where you want it to be. You can pick the size that you want the Viewcube, the opacity of it. You want it to be kind of grayed out or see-through. Uh, you can choose to show this UCS menu or not. To me, that's really necessary to see all the time. So I'll go ahead and I'll click that out. And then if you want things to go back just the way that it was, then you can restore the defaults to your Viewcube. So you can play with that and kind of customize it for the way that you want your Viewcube to function. Let's get that back on parallel right quick. Okay, cool. And even though that was a lot of information there, that's kind of the highs and lows of the user interface in Plant 3D. Go ahead and fool around with it and see how you can make it fit your workflow the best.